Can you hear that bird song? Isn't it fantastic? So it's early evening and it's been fabulous weather. In fact, it's been too hot to be out here in the cabin, and I'm up to my eyes with gardening customers at the moment, so there hasn't been much happening in my house, but I have got the lighting finished as it can be. So let's just see the front there, front of the house. The curtains just need fettling. I've pinned that one, just finishing dressing those. I'm reversing here. Got my pretty lights on in the cabin. It's something like Spaghetti Junction at the back, but I will show you the back and all of it in its realness. I did tell you it was like Spaghetti Junction, so here we are. I have got two gangs plus extension leads. Anyway, I've got a gang up here. I'll call it a gang because that's what it's known as in my term, where I've got the pink as a little post-it note around a cable. That's the duff cable. I haven't actually cut it off, and that one, but I could cut it off if I wanted to. Each wire, I put a little, this is masking tape, and I've written a code on it, a number on it, so I know exactly where they all go, because I've got a list with them on saying what's what. There's another gang there, and I've got two little extension lead things, because I needed 4 spaces, and then these have to go, follow it through, these have to be plugged into here, into one of these, so it's a link thing. But each of these, I wish I could have proper terms for them, with the big cables, the gangs, go into this unit here. I don't do electrics. I don't know how all this works and what you call it all. But anyway, they've got little sort of horseshoe-shaped prongs. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it wasn't necessary, but Paul has snipped off the outer prong, and then the inner prongs have gone into this thing, and then this thing plugs into this thing, so it came like that. All this came together with a wiring kit with the gangs and some lights. That's sort of like a normal pluggy thing, and then that goes into the wall. So it's all a palaver, but it all works. Everything is working. Some of the wires, so these wires here are from the landing. So what I've done is I have taped the wire to the wall where it's come out the side wall. I need to go over this to stick it on. I didn't use enough glue. This is just lining, wallpaper lining paper. So I need to go over that and stick it on a bit better. It doesn't look fab because this is still wet. I've just painted it. You can see a little line there where the wire is. And if the light is right, but you can't always see it, there's another line there. So, and I didn't glue this where it goes over the cables. So if I needed to, yes, I had to split that to get some of the bubbles out. I know, shoddy job, but you're not really looking at the sides, are you? And the windows will have details on. I need to tidy up around those as well. Always little bits to do. But what it does mean is that I could, if I needed to, take the paper off to access the cables. I'm not intending to do that, but I could do that if I needed to do that. And I've done the same on the other side. I did this in 2 halves because I found the other side I did it all in one go, and the glue had been drying a little bit too quickly. You can see there, that's where the cables are going underneath there. But once it's all painted and dried, it will look fine for a glance at the sides, because mostly you're looking at the front. I'll just give you a little sneak peek of the front. There's the front. And you see I'm cutting away a little, we've got a cutaway there, so that is going to become the cellar. But the curtains are up in, they just need dressing, sorting out, and I'll show you the inside. Top floor. Top floor landing. Woo! And if I drop this down, haven't actually done this myself yet. Ooh, look! You can see through the windows. And I love looking in through the windows, and you get that little peek of what's going on. This is my room, and you'll see it will emerge in its identity and personality as I dress it. So this light isn't working, but I've decided to leave it hanging. I actually think it's quite realistic to have some lights present that aren't working. That's just how it is. And I've got this spare socket in case there's another light that I want to put in there. These two lights came with the bulbs separate, so I had to very, very carefully, two-prong, very carefully put them in place. I'd put on my old work magnifying specs and have very good light. I think I used a head torch to get them in, and they fitted in perfectly. Some lights come with the bulbs ready fitted, others don't. I'm going to step down off my step and kick that out of the way. As you can see, I haven't got these curtains up yet. They need a bit more finishing. Landing light working wonderfully. Curtains need to go up there. This is another light that I replaced. So this one, I think I had to put the bulb in this one as well. It's sort of, this one is a match to those, but that's as near as I could get to that from the company I ordered them all from, because I wanted to order some other things as well. Curtains need to go up there. Oh, a little shiny bit of glue showing there. I might, well, the curtains will probably hide that, but if not, I'll put something up there. So this is the bedroom, and you can see I've put the pelmet there. I just need to dress the curtains, so I'll get those how I want them and, well, fix them into place. Got the hinge ready for the door. So this is much more subdued lighting, and these two flowery lights are bedside lights, and I'm not sure whether or not they're going to go on bedside tables, which I don't have yet, or I might stick them on the wall. I've yet to decide that, but once I've dressed the room, I will be able to decide a bit more. Loving this wallpaper. So pleased with all the work that I put in getting the floor and everything done. Just that little tiny bit, I will fettle that, and I've got a video for you on top coving anyway to finish off. So this, let me pull up a chair so I'm not straining my back, which is suffering a bit with all the gardening. So this is the living room, and these two are replacement lights because this one isn't working. Hey ho. And I've got a standard lamp I bought there, Tiffany style standard light, which is plugged into a socket. This light was already wired in. That light there works marvellous. The basement light, love that floor. That light works, and the kitchen light works. And that's actually the only light I'm going to have in the kitchen. That's just how it is. I thought about more, and I'm just getting a bit fed up. With all the light scenario. So I'll do another recording in a minute as the daylight fades. But I'm loving this. It's so atmospheric. And if I turn this to the side, I need to push this back on my table, and I'll get Paul to get a bit of muscle to push it back for me because it's really heavy now. And I'll just see, can I see? Yes, you can see the light in through that window. and through that window. I know the curtains aren't there yet, but the lights are there, and I've stuck on the details here on the windows and on this side around here. So when the curtains are dressed a bit, you'll be able to see in. Ooh, ooh. How wonderful is that? But it's got the top coving and don't know what you call that, stone thingies, and windowsill, and the hinges are here ready. We will attach the door at some point this week. Really heavy door, and this for doing this drop down door, I had to actually hack away at some of the skirting board, so I had to paint that, cut it away with my blade and paint it. So relieved at last, at last. That just feels like it's been uphill doing that. Let's talk to you a minute. So what top tips have I got for lighting for you? Probably get more than you think you're going to need, because I think it looks lovely to have table lights and maybe a standard light and some wall lights. And most important is to check they all work when you first get them. Sorry, I've got you on a handheld selfie stick thing here, so it's a bit wobbly. Check that they all work first. Check the wiring, so that if you've got any problems, you can send them back straight away, which is what I didn't do, which, hey. And then as you're wiring them in, check that they're working each time, so that before you are committed, like mine are, my lights are under the upstairs floor. Before you've committed, make sure they're working at each stage, and just, you know, take your time with it. It can be a fiddle, but I am so glad that I have endured it and come out the other side, because I just think it just adds so much atmosphere to the house. I'm not sure how often they will be on, but I mean, oh, looky. And I'm so pleased I've got the wall lights and not just central lights. I think that's brilliant. But you could do what I did and put in extra sockets. So then you can add lights later on if you want, if you're not quite sure what you want. So, you know, you can add to them as your budget allows, just feed through extra sockets and cables, and then you just have to sort out all the stuff that's hidden away. I really wanted a outside light, you know, for the porch or whatever, but I thought, well, feeding it through onto the door and the frontage door and all that, and then if I needed to remove it, because I did think that this might be going inside at some point into my home, not a chance. It's far too heavy. Now all the fixtures are in, and I haven't got anywhere to put it. My home is far too tiny. What I do next winter, I really don't know. I might have to wrap it up in bubble wrap or something and pack up all the, I don't know. Oh, I'm not even going to think about that. But I decided it was too complicated to do a porch light. I could, I suppose, do a battery operated porch light. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really pleased with what I've done. Plan it through. Look at your budget and think about ways that you can stretch your budget, maybe by adding more later as you get sockets, so you can get extra lights. And remember, you can always add battery operated lights if you wish to as an addition, but I think they're a bit more expensive to buy anyway. But you'll have to decide how you want to spend your budget. Anyway, hope that covers all the queries and we're up to date with the lighting. Anything you want to ask me? post in the comments and I'll answer your questions as best I can. I'm not an electrician. This has stretched my brain, I have to say. It has stretched me somewhat and I have got a bit frustrated over it all. But if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.